Is Mike doing this, or are you,
Which part?
or the opening the court of honor?
Mike, is he here?
He is not here from what I saw.
Oh, this is
Mr.
Mr.
Batchen's here.
Mr. Moffat is supposed to be here. Sorry.
If he comes in by then, I can pull him up, and if not, we can run it by Mr. Batchen.
Oops, sorry, I got a text. Oh, I can't type. H-N. Well, good evening, everybody. Boy, it got awful quiet awful quick. I figured we must be past the start time. So welcome, everybody. I think I know every one of you. That's a good thing. We didn't get any stragglers just walking in for free cake off the street, so that's good. I'm Glenn Robertson, the Scoutmaster at Troop 864 and the father of the 2 Eagle candidates tonight. And it's... Thank you. And you know what? It's really so great to see you guys. I'm looking around seeing familiar faces that I've seen recently and a lot of people that I haven't. So thank you. We're going to have lots of thank yous tonight. It's going to be like Academy Awards ceremony, okay? So you'll get used to the thank you word from hopefully all of us. But really appreciate you coming. I'm not the master of ceremonies. I just wanted to come and say hi to everybody and let you know we're going to get rolling here. And I'm going to introduce our real master of ceremonies. This guy, I almost said kid, but he's not a kid, is someone that I've heard his name mentioned around this district from the day that we started in Cub Scouts to the last Eagle Board of Review I sat on with Jim Patchen. And a lot of times one of the questions of the Eagle Board is, hey, who's the scout that had the biggest influence on your scouting career? And whether it's someone in our troop or many other troops, the name that comes up most often is Glenn Robertson. Oh, no, it's not. The name that comes up most is Connor Marshall. This guy's a legend in our district and probably in his own mind. So I would like to introduce Connor Marshall.
Good evening, everyone. Let's forget about that stuff because we're not here to talk about me. It'd be really cool if we were, no. But we're here to celebrate, talk about, remember, and award both Cole and Kent tonight. To begin that off, we're going to start by having the color guard present the colors. And tonight, I'm going to have the senior patrol leader come forward to call for the colors.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. Color guard, attention. Audience, please rise. Color guard, forward march. Scout salute. Color guard, halt. Color guard, post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Scout signs up. Please join me in the Scout Oath and Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Color guard about face. Color guard forward march. Halt. Color guard at ease. Audience at ease.
Can I have Pastor John Berry please come forward to do the opening invocation for tonight's celebration?
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to have all of you here, and it's an honor to be able to celebrate this Eagle Court of Honor for Cole and Kent Robertson. Would you join me as we commit it to the Lord? Father, thank you. Thank you for family, for friends. Thank you for relationships developed through discipline, through all the values that we just heard. I pray, God, that by your grace and for your glory, you would continue to pour these things through these gentlemen, using them for your glory and your grace for the love of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you for them. Bless them for your great name's sake. In Jesus' name, and all God's people said, amen.
Next, to open this ceremony up officially with the Boy Scouts of America, I would like to have Mr. Mike Moffitt please come forward to open this Court of Honor officially.
By the power vested in me by the Boy Scouts of America's National Office to the Golden Gate Area Council, and now declare this Eagle Court of Honor open.
So for many of you guys are in Scouts, they're in uniform, it's kind of easy to spot them. Some of you may have been in Scouts, some of you may have not. But this is a pretty special celebration, and it's a pretty special time to do this. So just a couple weeks from now, 109 years ago, if you guys can count when that was, it was 1912. So that is when the first Eagle Scout earned the rank of Eagle Scout. So that was the first Eagle Scout in the United States, the first Eagle Scout in the world. So this month, 109 years ago, the first Eagle Scout earned his rank, and you guys are actually being awarded, even though we know you earned it earlier with COVID and everything going on, you're being presented and celebrated tonight. So remember that and cherish that. So Troop 864 is the troop both Cole and Kent were part of. If they were part of the same troop, you guys probably could guess that. But they would like to do a little presentation to give you guys some background on the scouting ranks and the trail to Eagle that both of these young gentlemen had to go through. So Troop 864, come on up.
For the Scout rank, I have to know the Scout sign, the Scout salute, the Pledge of Allegiance, and how to tie a square knot. I must understand the Scout oath and the Scout law, and my badge is the fleur-de-lis, which represents the 3 parts of the Scout oath, which I am beginning to learn.
For the tenderfoot rank, I had to camp in a tent and cook outdoors. I had to memorize the Scout oath and law and demonstrate how to treat the American flag. I also did some physical tests and learned some first aid. To my badge have been added an eagle and shield representing my country and 2 stars representing truth and knowledge.
For second class, we had to hike 5 miles using a compass. We also had to do some swim tests, learn more first aid, find signs of wild animals, show how to build a fire, and handle an axe, and do a service project. My badge is a scroll inscribed with the Scout motto, "Be prepared." Suspended from the scroll is a knot, reminding me to do a good turn every day.
For first class, I had to do orienteering with a compass, know about plants, and had to be in charge of planning a meal and cooking it over a fire. I also learned more first aid, more knots, and did more swimming tests. My badge shows the complete Scout emblem, indicating that I have completed my basic Scout training.
To get to Star, I had to serve in a troop leadership position and had to do a 6-hour service project. I was also required to earn Eagle required merit badges. To my badge has been added a star representing my beginning leadership role I serve in my troop.
For life, I had to serve in a troop leadership position for 6 months. I had to participate in another service project, and I had to earn 5 more Eagle required merit badges. To my badge has been added a heart representing that I've taken all of scouting lessons to heart, and I truly live the lessons of scouting.
Eagle Scout is the highest rank attainable in the Boy Scouting division. Since its introduction in 1911, the Eagle Scout rank has been earned by about 4% of the Scouts who have participated in Boy Scouts. Requirements include earning a total of 21 merit badges, serving in a leadership position, and demonstrating Scout spirit. This rank requires an extensive service project that the Scout plans, organizes, leads, and manages. Eagle Scouts are presented with a medal and a badge that visibly recognizes the accomplishments of the Scout at a special court of honor held specifically to recognize them.
Thank you very much, Troop 864. You can return to your seats. Now, for tonight, it's really important that, we're all wearing masks and everything, that hopefully you guys remember what Cole and Kent look like. But in case you guys forgot who they were, you're like, man, all these guys with these masks and the same color shirt and pants, and, I don't believe many of us wear name tags. So it's really hard to tell. So we're going to have the Eagle's Nest, please, and the Honor Guard for tonight escort both Cole and Kent up to the stage. Thank you very much, both Eagle Nest and Honor Guard. Now, we have a guest speaker here from the city of Fairfield, where Troop 864 is hosted. May Pam Bertani please come up to the front. She's a council member for the city of Fairfield and has, I believe, something to read for both of them.
I do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me here this evening on behalf of the city of Fairfield. Kent and Cole, great job. Well done, Mom and Dad, and everyone here. It's been quite a year, wouldn't you say? I think we can all agree that it's been quite a year. So tell me something positive that you take away from the pandemic so far. Something positive.
All right, can I stand up there?
Sure, come on up.
Thank you. All right, so one thing that's maybe been positive, I would say, is, it kind of brought me closer to my family, because probably I'll be away more, probably at some job or something, So, I mean, yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Tell me one thing that a positive takeaway from this pandemic that you can tell us about.
Well, in addition to family is very important.
That's resilience. That's resilience. In a few weeks, we'll be commemorating the 9/11 tragedy that took so many lives in this country. But you know what? Today, the New York skyline is looking as beautiful as ever. That's resilience. What I've learned or remembered from the pandemic and from 9/11 and from other challenges that we have is that no matter what, we rise. No matter what happens, Americans overcome. No matter what, we move forward. In other words, we will not be denied. Ever. Amen. And so that's why it is always, and I'm so tired of these masks, I don't know what to do. Oh my goodness. But that's why it's always an honor to join your Eagle Scout ceremony, because it's just a reminder of the resilience and the tenacity and the commitment and passion that Eagle Scouts display. So the resilience that we see from the pandemic, from 9/11, from other personal tragedies, that starts right here. Yeah, that starts right here in building the kind of community that you want to support, because people support what they help to create. And so what you're doing here is creating a community that you will support, and your parents and your friends and your family and the city will support always. And so as long as we're continuing to be able to celebrate these kinds of accomplishments, I have hope and faith in the future. I think the future is looking very bright, and with you two gentlemen at my sides, it's even brighter. So on behalf of Mayor Price and my colleagues on the Fairfield City Council, let me read a letter that the mayor composed himself. He's out of town working for us, but he wanted you to know that this is his message to you. Dear Cole and Kent, your becoming an Eagle Scout is an accomplishment worthy of the greatest praise and recognition by people everywhere. Congratulations. As a former Scout leader, I salute your choosing to distinguish yourself in such a singular manner. Henceforth, you will be known forever as one among the select few whose vision, perseverance, dedication, and personal commitment to excellence make the world a better place. Most assuredly, your leadership will be sought and followed by others whose trust you have earned. Relieved and happy as you are, please note the obvious pride your parents and family have in you. May the wings of an eagle continue to carry you to greater heights. Sincerely, Harry T. Price, Mayor, City of Fairfield, California. So, Cole, this is your recognition from the mayor and the city council. And Kent, your recognition from the Fairfield City Council and the mayor. Everyone, great job. Great job. Job well done. Thank you. Appreciate it.
To follow that up now, we have some other guest speakers from Cole and Kent's past, we could say. They are here tonight. It's not like Cole and Kent are that old. Don't worry, guys. It hasn't been that long. But first, can I invite up both Wendy and Dustin Walker. They were both highly involved in scouting, especially with Kent and throughout Cub Scouts especially, and even into Boy Scouts. So I think they have a few words, a few jokes, a few memories to hash through up here. So please come on up.
Hi there. We've been a part of Kent and Cole's lives and the Robertson family since Tyler and Kent were in first grade. So that was 2010 that they became Tiger Cubs. And my husband was their den leader all throughout their Cub Scouting career. And into Boy Scouts bridged them over, and it's just been an honor. They're both such great guys that have grown into great, they look like men. I mean, I see these pictures up here, and they're just these little tiny guys, and now they're all grown up, and they're both great examples to the people that they're around. And Cole's always been a really good encouragement to the younger boys, to his brother and all the other boys that were in the scout, and then the pack before that. And he had to put up with my daughter since she was a year old. He's always been very patient and carried to her and helped out with all the other kids. And we just have really, really enjoyed them. And Kent is a man of few words and a master of one-liners. So we very much enjoyed them. And Dustin's going to tell a few stories that we can remember that are very funny to us.
So yeah, I remember the day vividly when I was voluntold that I was going to be a den leader but yes, that's right. We sat at the library and
Told Mary.
yes, So anyhow, there were fun times, and even I at the time was kind of like, where do I go from here? I don't know what I'm doing. So these boys taught me a lot in their own right. But there's really something to be said about, it takes a village to raise a child, right? And that's the beauty of scouting, is there's so many adults that are involved to help them and progress. And I didn't spend as as much time with you, Cole, as I did with Kent, because he was my direct den. But the two of them were a pleasure, and it was an honor to be able to be a part of their lives and their journey through scouting. And I can remember sometimes, speaking of the one-liners, I set up a den meeting, and at the clubhouse that we did such event, there's a pool and an open area back behind. And one of the lessons we had to teach was, part of citizenship and things like that. And one of the things was, being a good steward of the community, picking up trash, things like that, recycling. Those are things that we cover in scouting, among many things. So I decided, hey, we're going to do a little trash collecting event in the short time, only about an hour to do this. So I go back behind, and the place is great and clean, which is awesome, right? So I said, well, I got to make my own trash pile for, preparedness, right? That's one of the number one things is in scouting, is to be prepared, right? That's part of the resilience of being a scout. So I go before they show up, and I make my own, I got some bottles and just clean trash, if you will, because I wanted it to be a clean pickup. But anyhow, so recyclables and such, I made a good mess back there for all the boys to pick up. So we begin the meeting, and out of the corner of my eye, as things are kind of beginning to commence, I see a neighbor walking by with a bag, and she's picking up all the trash that I had prepared. So I had to cut myself short and say, hold on, I'm running out. So the boys didn't even know what was coming up. So I run out to say, no, we're doing something. And she was a little bit put off by the fact that I put the trash out there myself. And I explained to her, I said, we're going to pick it up, so just calm down. So I took the bag from her, put it all back out. And I come back in, and, Kent's kind of there looking at me. He goes, probably in my best Kent voice, well, that's what you get for trashing the place, Mr. Walker. Anyhow, yeah, his one-liners will just have you buckling, because, again, he's not a man of many words, but when he speaks, he has meaning. And, another thing about Kent, I know you despise tent camping. So much so, we have a travel trailer. She doesn't like it either. So what's funny about that is that, Kent had a special circumstance, right? To earn his eagle, you've got to go tent camping. And I know you had some second thoughts there for a little while where you're kind of in your scouting career like, hey, do I want to do this? And thank goodness for Cole for being there to be that example, that older brother to kind of encourage you. And, you know, the family, just great job to you guys for doing a wonderful job and encouraging both of these boys to continue on and earn this great privilege and to acknowledge them today is just great.
Kent, myself, and Elvis all share the same birthday, so we have a special bond, and we especially feel the same way about Ted's.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Now I'd like to invite Mr. Bob Liu up to the front of the stage as well to give a few words to both of you gentlemen.
Catch my breath, this mask is suffocating me, sorry. Oh, that's just great. I don't want to pollute the front row, but good evening. Good evening. I'm deeply honored here to take part in this Eagle Court of Honor for two exceptional young men, Kent and Cole Robertson. Since 2014, I've known the Robertsons as my son Will joined Troop 864, and thanks to the Walkers. From then, I've always known them to be involved and excited in the scouting program. Some events that bring back memories are snow camps, Camporee, Dillon Beach, Point Reyes campouts and hikes, and of course the summer camps at Chawanakee and Catalina Island. With what is exceptionally memorable are the campfires, the jokes, the skits, and especially the drums that Nicole would bring out, and the skits that Mr. 2 Cent Kent would share as a gangster rapper in chief at the campsites. So during the first year of snow camp, we were caught in a winter storm and everyone was cold and wet, but Kent and Nicole, brave, and the rest of the troop, we braved through the night and made it home safely the next day. So at Point Reyes, our hikes would average about 10 to 15 miles per day. But these two have always remained positive and enjoyed the challenge. Excuse me. So throughout these events, I have witnessed their grit, humor, determination, and physical toughness, serving in their leadership roles and obtaining their merit badges, and on the way to their Eagle rank. Kent and Cole, as Eagle Scouts, you are joining a very select group. Only a small percentage of young men and now women joined the Boy Scouts of America, and less than about 4% of these achieve the rank of Eagle. And Eagle is an exceptional person. Scouting has played an important role in many young people, and I hope you stay active in scouting. Just as you've looked to older scouts when you were young, younger scouts now look to you, and you have much to teach and share them. We're very proud of you. You have proven that a spirited heart, determined mind, and a courageous soul can accomplish anything that you plan. Every scout develops qualities through their journey to Eagle, qualities that help and guide you through the rest of your life. And these are self-reliance, trust of yourself and others, and doing things right, as well as doing the right things. The importance of honor and personal integrity, and always helping others and showing that you care. Now I would like to read a quote from Teddy Roosevelt, which I believe summarizes this moment of Eagle Scout. It's called The Man in the Arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, but because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows what great enthusiasms are, what great devotions are, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Thank you.
All right. Now can I invite both Ted Robertson up first to give a few words about both Cole and Kent.
Thank you. This is not a 2-hour presentation.
I don't think there was a time limit.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just carry on here. There is food afterwards, right? So, okay. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Ted Robertson, one of Glenn's brothers, and I'm here to represent the rest of the Robertson family, and to extend our congratulations and sincerity for the two of you for achieving the Eagle Scout honor. I was reading a book on leadership a little while ago, and the book had a section on it, what leaders can learn from Eagle Scouts. And there are two key points. One is leaders must have and live by a set of values. The Scout Law, great set of values. And the second is have grit. That's the persistence and discipline to achieve what your goals are and your targets. So stay focused. And that's exactly what the two of you have done. You set a target and you had the persistence to continue and achieve that. So it's a wonderful thing to do, and if you do that throughout your life, you're a true leader. So on behalf of the family, and by the way, my older brother, who's in San Jose, couldn't make it tonight, Glenn and myself are all Queen Scouts, which you may know that about Glenn. That's the Canadian and British Eagle Scout. And we also were on the lakes, so we had to do not only all the land scout stuff, but we had to do navigation and sailing and the stars and learn how to make sure we could swim and save people and everything else. So that was extra special. We lived on Lake Ontario, so we spent a lot of time on Lake Ontario and did a lot of canoeing in Northern Ontario also. And that was great fun. I wrote a little bit about each of you, and if we do have a minute, I could just read, because I've known these two young gentlemen since they were born. Now, we lived quite close to each other at the time, and then, of course, people move around and things happen. But this is on Cole. I cannot think of a person more qualified and one who exemplifies the scouting value than Cole. Throughout his whole life, he has always strived to be the best at what he does. He's eager to improve himself. He's trustworthy, attends church regularly, and is involved in church and community activities. And he's very willing to help others. He has a great personality and is always in an upbeat mood. His smile is infectious, and he is eager to help others. Besides these characteristics, Cole always seeks me for information on self-improvement. I don't know why, but here I am. We have very interesting discussions, and he is always asking questions for my advice on a variety of subjects. He just doesn't listen, but asks very good questions for more understanding and engages in an exchange of information and his perspective on the subjects. To me, this is a sign of an interested and inquisitive mind, and he does it in a non-threatening and non-offensive way. So that's my assessment rightfully or not, of Cole and why I believe he's just an outstanding person and qualifies to be an Eagle Scout, besides achieving all of the other attributes to be an Eagle Scout. Now for Kent, I said, it's just such a pleasure to watch Kent as he has developed and grown over the years and has learned and demonstrated the principles of the Scout law and oath in his daily life. Kent has always been a curious person who is interested in self-development and interested in helping others. He learned to play the guitar, especially skilled at computer operations, so is well-rounded in both mechanical skills and the arts. And by the way, my older brother, John, and Glenn and I are all engineers. So we know the right and left sides of the mind, and we also all have degrees in music. So I can see why you get these combinations, good or bad, right? He has been a senior patrol leader, developing his leadership skills. Leadership, remember, values to live by, set targets, and then have that persistence, that grit to get the job done. He is particularly interested in helping others and the environment, demonstrating characteristics of the Scout law. For example, he led a book drive for underprivileged kids and collected over 500 books. His sensitivity for helping animals and conserving the environment is demonstrated by his Eagle Scout project, where he has made nesting boxes for owls, thereby protecting and conserving their breed. He is kind, courteous, clean, reverent, attends church regularly, all key characteristics of a Scout. I believe Kent is a well-rounded, loyal, and helpful person with the attributes and characteristics of an Eagle Scout. So I hope I got that right. That's what I feel anyways. Now, behind any successful person is somebody who's supporting them. And we've heard that earlier this evening, Anita and Glenn. I really want to thank you from the family for all the things you've done to bring these two young men along and certainly achieving this very high goal. Less than 4% make it this far. By the way, when I was going through engineering, I was shocked because there was a statistic like that for engineering. Only 3% of all the people who start engineering make it to the end without dropping out or failing at least 1 year. So these are pretty special things. Over the years, and I know you don't know my background, I'm not going to tell you much about it, but I have interviewed and hired thousands and thousands of engineers. I worked as a chief engineer for a very large company, and I had to assess people all the time. And you had to get it right. You just can't hire somebody who doesn't work or let you down. And I can tell you that an Eagle Scout, if you see that on a resume, hire them immediately. It's the best person you can hire, guaranteed, hard worker, right values, and will get your job done. No question. And so please, all of you, other Eagle Scouts, and make sure you have that on your resume. It really, really means something and stands out. Very important. So in my experiences, I found the best way to operate in life is to live by the Scouting values. People recognize that, and they respect you, and you can achieve your goals and be a good person that people look up to. And that's why Eagle Scouts usually make it into leadership positions. They're very successful in their careers and businesses. I'll leave you with one last thought. I was president of a large international organization, thousands of members, and I had to do a lot of traveling and visit a lot of very senior people at universities, government people, senior industry people. My story is I was at a meeting, one-on-one, with a 4-star general. The gentleman was in charge of material command. You may know what that is, but for those who don't, material command, I went to the fort over in the East Coast. He buys everything for the Army. Everything. From food to tanks to uniforms to ammunition, anything. He has the largest budget, so you know where our taxes go, largest budget in the Army. Very highly respected person to be put in that. So I was in his office, very large office, probably the size of this room, and just talking, around a table, just the two of us, no one else. And we were together an hour and a half. And on his walls were pictures of different forts or different commands that he had had. And we didn't talk about that, but I was kind of looking around during our discussion. So at the very end, I said, can you tell me a little bit about each one of these? And so, sure. And so got up and we walked around the room and he told me about each one. It was very interesting. I said, okay, well, thanks very much for the meeting, and et cetera, et cetera. And I turned and I was ready to leave, and well, Mr. Robertson, I've got one more thing to show you. And he said, come here. Right beside his desk, there was a credenza, there was a little box. And he said, I want you to see this. And I went over and looked at it, and I turned to him, I said, that's your Eagle Scout. And he said, yes. Had it displayed very prominently. I said, I was an Eagle Scout, Queen Scout. And he said, yes, I know. I read your resume. That was very, very important to him. Just like I say, put it on your resume, but I don't know. The key thing he said was, did you know that over 80% of the generals in the armed forces are Eagle Scouts? Didn't know if any of you knew that. Leadership, respect, responsibility. They can set goals, have a good set of principles that people recognize, and they get the job done. They focus. They become generals. So I thought you should know that, and those are a few pieces of wisdom that I want to pass on and impart. These are very important things, and it's affected me my whole life. Lord Baden-Powell, by the way, I'll just leave you with this, who started scouting in England, said, leave the world a better place than where you came. And both of you, even by your projects, left the world a better place. So, and I wanted to thank you for doing this and having the honor and allowing us to come out and visit, because we don't have In-N-Out Burger back in Michigan, and so I get a chance to do that. So thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
And to round up our main guest speakers for this night, can I have Mr. Rick Marshall please come forward to give you guys a few other words.
Thank you, Connor. First of all, congratulations, Kent. Congratulations, Cole. If you don't know me, I'm Rick Marshall, or Scoutmaster before Glenn was kind enough to take over, or Connor's dad is what most people refer to me as. So I had the pleasure of actually bridging in Cole and his gang or his posse of guys and taking them to their first summer camp. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit. You guys have heard about scouting. It's awesome. I always like to put it out there. I wasn't a scout. I missed out on those privileges. If it wasn't for my wife and her family and Connor, I wouldn't have had this great opportunity to become it as an adult. My family was anti-scouting, anti-camping, and so I had a bad attitude about scouting, and it's been wonderful as an adult. It's never too late to start, but you guys have such an advantage. So I got to take Cole to Wente for his first summer camp. Glenn had to work, which a lot of the dads did, and one thing I really noticed through there is a few things of Cole's steps of going from a boy to a man. He may only been 11, and Kent may not know this story unless he shared it with you, so it'll come out, but it's really, really special. Two things. One is when the youth are there, how much they looked forward. Glenn and a few of the other dads came up for the last day of camp, and it looked like they weren't going to make it. They're running late, traffic and work, and 5 of these boys are just sad until their dads pulled in. So the influence of a good parent is really there. It was great to see the excitement when they can see their parents. Because there are some kids, I don't want to see my parents. I'm glad they're gone, and I don't want them there. These guys wanted them. So in scouting, one of the things is they have to earn a totem chip so they can carry a knife. So what's the biggest thing to any male boy? There may be some females, but males especially, I want a knife, and as many knives as I can get. So I have about 9 new boys with me. I think we had about 18 boys, but 9 of them were brand new. So they're working on all the knife safety to get their totem chip. And the minute they get their totem chip, they ran across camp. They were also really depressed by the night because they were all going to buy knives at the scout store, but it closed 5 minutes before they got there. So what'd they do first thing in the morning? We're not worried about breakfast. We're going to be at the scout shop when it opens so we can get knives. And Cole was one of those that bought a knife. So I'm going to squeal on you. He got his knife, and unfortunately this happens, and I had to be the adult in charge, which I didn't like. He gets in trouble with his knife. Does something he's not supposed to. Not that abnormal. I remember what it is to be 11 or 12. We were all trouble pretty much in one way, and we're learning. So when they get their totem chip, we have a choice as an adult. We can either take it, depends on the offense, or we can tear a corner. If they lose all the corners, they don't get to carry a knife anymore, or if we take it, they got to hand over their knives, and they can't use a knife. So if they're cooking and they need knives, actually they got to ask somebody to come help them because they can't use a knife. And that's not very manly to a boy that wants a knife. Cole wasn't worried about getting in trouble. He got in trouble, and we had a few hours talk that night. He didn't want to get in trouble. He was upset, and this is when I learned about Kent. He goes, I have failed my little brother if I lose this card because I have become a bad influence and he cannot look up to me. And my job as a big brother is to live a life my little brother can live up to. What can I do? That was the last time in 5 years Cole had ever done anything to get in trouble for anything or not listen to a rule. And that's where I saw him change from a boy, because usually it's a month I'll behave and then I'm back to this. He actually behaved. I just cannot fail my little brother. What can I do, Mr. Marshall? I will do anything and change it, but I have to be that example. Now, if we could all be that good, I'm not that good. So, okay, I'm saying, I would keep getting in trouble. But that was one of the things I learned how much you meant to your brother. And then I got the pleasure later on. I didn't get as many experiences. You're watching the pictures. Tons of those I've been there. The snow camping, Big Meadows into Dardanelles, backpacking, Point Reyes. I've headed a lot of those up. I love it. I miss it. But I love camping with both of you guys. Kent's caring, like you talked about, of animals, people, the planet, and the positive attitude is great. Both of these guys have been positive attitudes. And you may think I say that all the time. No, if I don't think it, you will not hear it. Because there are some scouts that I say, I don't know if they should have made Eagle. These guys do. There's no doubt, no question. So it's been a pleasure with both of you guys. And scouting, don't ever stop getting involved in it. And don't stop making the world a better place, because that is what scouting is all about. It's about becoming mature and making the planet a better place. And as the earlier speakers said, I think they touched on it great. Scouting can change the world. It can change the life of one person at a time. So congratulations. Keep it up. And thanks for letting me come up and speak. And I'll let you guys move on.
now that we've taken a few moments to reminisce on the past, take in some words of wisdom, hopefully, and prepare for the future, we're going to move on to the ceremony part for tonight for both Cole and Kent. Now, a big part of that is not just getting a shiny medal or a patch that's not tan and yellow. It's actually taking the oath and remembering all the steps you guys took as you went on this journey, right? So hopefully when you saw the Trail to Eagle, hopefully it brought up a bunch of memories for both of you about the ranks, the accomplishments, and the service they both had to do in order to get here tonight. In order to do that in scouting, something you have to say many, many times is the scout oath and law. Do you guys know how many times you've said the scout oath or law? A lot. Okay, good. I didn't have a number either, so I just wanted to see just in chance. But for an Eagle Scout, you also have an Eagle Oath. Some people will call this the Eagle Promise. It's a little long. You're probably not going to say it as often, but before we do this, my words of wisdom to you in regards to this is you don't need to remember every word of this oath, but do remember the meaning of the words within this promise that you're about to take. I'm going to now ask all the Eagle Scouts in the audience, as well as both of you two, to rise. Please take part by using the Scout sign. I'd like all Eagle Scouts to repeat their first name. I, Connor Marshall, reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training and rank an example and my influence count strongly for the better of scouting and for better citizenship in my troop, in my community, and in the contacts with other people. To this, I pledge my sacred honor. 2. Now that you can all take your seats, Eagle Scouts and Eagle's Nest, as well as you two. Now you have officially taken in the words. You've hopefully already received the patch. You've done all the tasks. You are Eagle Scouts. From this point on, we'd like to invite up both of Cole's parents, Mr. Glenn and Miss Anita Robertson, to come on forward, and they're going to get to present. You guys can come on up. The actual Eagle Awards to you guys. In scouting, throughout Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, every time they get a new rank patch put on their uniform, I don't have one anymore because I'm old, but as Kent and Cole have the Eagle Scout patch sewn on, they get to give a mother's pin to their mom. So every rank throughout Cub Scouts and this, so quite a few years, over a decade, she gets to get pinned over and over, and she got to get pinned twice as much. This task kind of changes in this case. So this time, the normal tradition is the mother gets to pin the actual beautiful, pretty medal. You can go ahead and grab them here. To their son. Now, since there's 2 scouts here, you guys can discuss how you want to do that as parents. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. But that's the tradition, and if you want to follow that, you may. And you both can stand on up. Bite your tongues. Luckily, the mask is covering your facial expression, so just don't cry, don't scream, you know.
sure we did. Oh, this better. Okay.
Thank you very much. Well, we've got a couple other things we want to present to the guys. We've got their Eagle Scout certificates here. They're framed, so we would invite people afterwards to please come up and take a look at the awards, because I'm sure many of you haven't ever seen an Eagle Scout certificate or medals, etc. So we're going to leave this stuff here, of course, for you to come and take a quick look at. This is Kent. Kent, on behalf of Troop 864 and your family, we're so proud that you've earned this, and it'll look great on your wall. So congratulations.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Dad. You want to hold it for a second?
All right, Cole, same to you. No, we're very proud of you. You are the first Eagle Scout, American Eagle Scout in the Robertson family ever, right? So congratulations. And for those of us that have been involved in scouting for a few years here, and I'm looking at you, Mr. Patchen, and some of the other folks that have been involved here for a long time, they might get a special kick out of this. I was able to acquire these from the Scout Shop a few years ago, planning ahead, basically because we knew that it was not optional for them to finish the Eagle Scout rank. This is a framing of all of the Eagle award patches for the first 100 years of scouting. And I just thought it was too cool to pass up. So we've got one for each of the boys from the family. So enjoy that on your wall as well. So please come take a look at that afterwards. Pretty interesting. And my brother Ted, in his 2-minute speech, mentioned that, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the time. Yeah, wonderful job. Thank you, Ted, by the way. I was hoping he was going to mention our dad, who was also a scout in Canada in the late 1920s, I guess it would be. Yeah, he was born in 1918. They didn't have Eagle Scout awards like this there, but so we have a family tradition going back to that, those early days, and so it's pretty cool. So here we go. I'd ask Mr. Derek Yaney if he'd please grace us with his presence, and he's got a little presentation to make on behalf of the troop.
Thank you. Thank you. So you've seen quite a few things here in front of you already brought up. I'm going to bring up a couple more on behalf of the troop. But first of all, I'd like to just share with you guys one of my favorite quotes, been on my office wall for a number of years. It's from the baseball great Jackie Robinson, and not Robertson, Robinson on that one. So it's a saying that goes, a life is not important except in the impact it has upon others. And that's something that always has kind of touched me, but it kind of stuck in my mind here when I was asked to present these two items on behalf of the troop. Because we know you guys have done some great things as a scout. Kent, you know how I feel about your Eagle project and the kestrel and owl boxes. As an environmental guy, that's near and dear to my heart. And Cole, to be in this room and be able to actually witness the effect of your Eagle project, it's rather nice as well. So we know you've done some good things, but one of the things that I think you need to be recognized for is the impact you've had on the other guys in the troop. You guys have both been a very strong influence on the other guys. You've kind of set the tone. My boys came to this troop and this area late, and just the welcoming effect that you guys and the scouts that you've had an impact on as well in the troop have been, as far as welcoming new members, welcoming new people in the community. It's just really an awesome thing. So I feel like I'm handing out an Academy Award here, because that would be these. Eagle bus here, and I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to take one from this side, and this will be yours. I'm assuming they aren't, well, I guess that they can be engraved. They will be engraved at a later date for you, Cole, and then you can swap them up again. So, and here you go. Kent? Now that, I think, is a rather impressive item there. So thank you again for all you guys have done for the troop and for just the awesome example you're setting for the other guys. Thank you.
All right, now as well as a medal and a patch and some eagle statues and some nice things to hang up on your walls, you do get to change out your beautiful green neckerchief with a beautiful red, white, and blue Eagle Scout neckerchief. In this case, I'm going to invite the Eagle's Nest to please come forward, and they are going to change your neckerchiefs for you as you are now Eagle Scouts. You will get to keep the green one. They're not going to take it. They may look like bandits. They're wearing masks, but it's okay. They're supposed to be. So please stand up too.
Thank you.
Now, there is, before you take pictures now, that's cool. There is like one more thing probably before you want to take pictures. So I'm going to invite both Mr. and Miss Robertson up here for one other thing here that they get to do. I guess they get to receive, I should clarify that, not something they have to do. There's no speech on their part. So here's these for both of you two. You guys know what to do with those. As we said earlier, it's normal throughout scouting for the mother to get a mother's pin. This is dad's one lucky opportunity to get a dad's pin. The mom still gets one, but you both can come up here. And Cole and Kent, I'm not sure if they're going to say a little words or if they're just going to stick it on you, but go right ahead, gentlemen.
All right, hello everyone. Just to say a few words, both our mom and dad have been extremely helpful in the process of getting our Eagle Scouts from all the way when we were like probably this tall, I assume, something like that, to taller than at least maybe both of them. So we really want to thank you guys and award each of you with your own mentor pins. So you guys will be the first to receive special pins. Thank you. All right, I'll start with and now we switch.
Two layers back down. Nice, thanks, Oli.
Perfect. All right, that is the first pinning. All right. Okay, so now we begin our part of this, in which first we're going to have Kent present the first mentor.
All right. So the first pin that I would like to present is to Ryan Casimir. All right, Ryan. Welcome.
He's up here for you guys.
Perfect.
I think that's all. Do you want the other two?
to the studio.
Oh, yeah. So not only is Kite going to be presenting him one, but I too am going to be presenting Ryan a pin as well. Ryan has been a huge influence throughout our scouting career, mainly at the end, however, though, with our Eagle Scout projects. I mean, he is the guy to go to for any woodworking. If it wasn't for him, both of our projects wouldn't be able to happen.
Exist, yeah.
I mean,
he did all the important cuts and stuff. Yeah,
he really did.
Super vital, yeah.
So we'd like to both thank him
Yeah.
and both give him this special cool pin.
So there you go.
Okay, so our next special contendants. Unfortunately, one of them isn't here today, but the other one is. So we will award him, both Kent and I, with a nice, shiny mentor pin. May we please welcome up Uncle Ted. Now, Uncle Ted has been very influential in our lives. Since I was born, as he said, both of us were born, at the beginnings when we were born. He's always been there. He's always been giving us the best advice. He's been just a great uncle, and we're so proud to be able to honor him and our Uncle John, who, of course, couldn't make it tonight, but they will both be receiving pins from both Kent and I. So, here's mine.
Thank you. This one's a little jammed.
Oh, well, give me a different one.
Oh, okay, I got it. All right, everything's all right.
Thank you, Ken.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Whoops. All right, the next pin I would like to present to is Mr. Lou. Yeah. He's been a super important adult leader basically since I was in, Boy Scouts. And most importantly, he gave me my rap name, so.
You wear it well.
All right. Oh, here we are. All right.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
Alrighty. So, these next two special guests, I'd actually like to give 2 pins from myself to them. Both of them have been very influential in terms of the beginning of my scouting career. May we please have Connor and Mr. Marshall, Rick Marshall, come up.
Again.
Awesome. And the last shiny pin. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much.
Congratulations.
All right. Now I'd like to present a pin to Mr. and Mrs. Walker. All right. They've been very important den leaders, like they said, and they've been very supportive throughout my scouting career. All right. Sorry about that. They're a little wacky to pin on. I'll get that.
I'll just stick it on this one.
That'll work.
Not too hard. Yeah, it might poke through. All right. Good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm not a Boy Scout. I get to help.
All right. So, with that being said, the pin that I'm going to give last to, my last pin, I want to give this pin to the one and only Mr. John Barry. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Barry has been our pastor since probably I was born. I mean, for as long as I can remember. And with him, you know, I've done worship music. You know, for those of you who don't know, I actually play the drums. So, you know, he'll be on the keyboard or on the bass, and I'll be on the drum kit, and we'll just be, you know, banging it out for church service, jamming, you know. But with that being said, he's been super influential. He's been such an important person in my life, and so I really wanted to award this last pin specifically to him. So.
All right. And the last pin I would like to present to is Mr. Yaney. All right. Sorry, I'll get into the explanation.
That's fine.
All right.
Take your time.
Mr. Yaney has been a very important adult leader in our troop, and not only is he just important, he's the committee chair currently. Sorry about that. These pins can go a
Oh,
little
that's
weird.
okay. I know how they are.
All right. Let's put this here. I'll just change it to there. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
Alrighty, so that concludes the mentor pin givings. Thank you all once again for being so influential in our lives. We really appreciate you all. And now we were gonna get to the speeches. So more speeches.
Yeah.
Ken, if you want to lead us off.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. As you know, I'm Kent Robertson, and I would like to first thank everyone for coming here tonight to celebrate us, to help us celebrate Cole and I achieve the rank of Eagle. I really appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to be here. There's so many people who have helped me in my scouting journey that I would like to thank. First of all, my parents who have helped me since I started as a Tiger Cub Scout many years ago. Thank you, Mom and Dad. My family has also been very encouraging and supportive, so thank you all. I would also like to thank my fellow scouts and their parents who have kept the troop active and running with their own work behind the scenes. Finally, I'd like to recognize the district staff here tonight, Mr. Moffitt and Mr. and Mrs. Patchen, who have been very helpful with my Eagle project and board review. And now I would like to take a moment to share some memories of my scouting journey. First and foremost, my Eagle project was very meaningful to me. For those who are not aware, my Eagle project was to build eagle and kestrel nesting boxes for the Solano Land Restoration Project. This allowed me to gain experience planning and leading a project while also helping the environment. I really appreciate all the help from the scouts and parents who helped me complete the project. There are also a couple of humorous incidents that bring a smile to my face when I think of them. On the road trip to summer camp at Catalina Island, one of my fellow scouts spent his entire weekly allowance at the very first rest stop we made. I could still see him running back to the car with multiple shopping bags of candy and a huge smile on his face. Once we arrived at Catalina Island, I ended up tenting with East and Heather.
In the middle of the night, we heard animal sounds outside our tent and argued for a while over who should go out to check it out. Issa made me go because I was the bigger one. Fortunately, it was nothing but a docile deer grazing nearby, so no real danger. All right. Finally, I would like to share a few thoughts about what scouting means to me. I am grateful for the program, and I feel that scouting ideals of citizenship, community service, and outdoor programs has both stretched me and formed me in a positive way. I've also met many nice scouts and their families along the way. I would strongly encourage all families to get their kids involved in scouting. Thank you all for celebrating with us tonight.
Amazing. Alrighty. And now, 2 of 2 will give a speech. Alright. Alright. Hello, everyone. I first and foremost want to thank each and every one of you guys for attending my brother and I's Eagle Scout Court of Honor. It means so much to us that you could all come here despite the tough times that we've all been facing with the pandemic. For those of you who have come afar, and to everyone who have come despite the risk of the virus, we sincerely thank you. With that being said, I personally want to share with you all what I've learned throughout my Boy Scout journey and what it has taught me. In my early years, I was never the most fond of leaving my video games behind to participate in scouting events. I would mourn due to the fact that I wasn't in my comfort zone, counting down the days day by day until I would remain home. After returning home, I would feel always very relieved. However, I'd always reflect on what an awesome week I had, the cool things I learned, and lastly, achievements I earned that allowed me to progress towards the next rank. As I got older, I began to enjoy each outing more and more, knowing that I was getting closer and closer towards that Eagle Scout rank. Soon before I knew it, I was a Life Scout in high school. Being very busy, however, it was fortunate for me that I had completed all prior ranks before Eagle Scout so that I was able to focus a little more on school. As time went on, I began thinking about the campouts and events that I once dreaded, wishing that I could go back. Now, this lesson that I learned was, and by the way, I felt, at first I was really, kind of bummed that I couldn't potentially relive these experiences. So, but what I learned from this was that I learned to not take things for granted. At the time, it was easy to look past the fact that I wouldn't live those same experiences again. However, I missed those times dearly, as I not only had a blast in the end, but I created such amazing memories. I wish I could go back and participate in the things I once did that I can no longer do today, like actually learn how to tie those tricky knots correctly at camporee. Another lesson that Boy Scouts taught me was about friendship, comfort, and value. When I was a newer scout, I loved the idea of spending the night outdoors with others. The bonds were unforgettable, as talking while hiking with others and eating burnt marshmallows after lighting them ablaze around campfires were some of my best memories. However, when I was told that I needed to have a tenting buddy, I was rather disappointed. I thought that being crammed in a small space with another person kind of grossed me out, as I couldn't imagine what the stench would smell like every night after both my tenting buddy and I would take off our smelly boots after a long day of hiking. You see, now, I could tolerate my own stench, but Jake's, on the other hand... So, as a result, it was not something I looked forward to say the least. But what I found was that being in the tent with others made the whole camping experience so much better than I thought. Some of the best memories I had with camping were basically this: staying up late, joking around together, and wrestling each other in our sleeping bags. And lastly, trying to continue doing all of these things after being told to go to bed for the 5th time by Mr. Liu. But what I learned from all this was that a little bit of discomfort made for a great bonding time with others. With that being said, I learned that any time you have to go out of your comfort zone to do something that may not be so appealing, like smelling the other person's stench foot, it's 100% worth it to just go for it and do it. You won't regret it. Now, this last lesson I would like to share with you guys is about diligence and perseverance. It was calculated that throughout history, roughly only 4% of Boy Scouts have made it to Eagle Scout. Now, for all of those who are part of that 4%, may you please stand up and be recognized once more. That includes Queen Scouts too. All right, you may be seated. As most of us know, achieving Eagle Scout is not easy, which explains why the percentage is so low. Throughout my journey, there were countless times that I thought I couldn't do it, especially when one first becomes a scout. The amount of requirements one has to achieve is very intimidating. This is why most Eagle Scouts don't achieve their Eagle Scout rank until just a few years before they're 18. And that is because not only does it take up a lot of time, but it requires one to work extremely hard and to never give up. During times that I doubted myself, I told myself that if I kept pushing forward and working hard, I'd eventually be part of that 4%. Even though it seemed impossible at times, I knew it could be done. As Muhammad Ali once said, impossible is nothing. With that being said, I can promise any of you that with hard work and the ability to never give up, anything is possible. Remember, impossible is nothing. All right, so as I wrap up my speech, I want to thank the following people. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents for doing what was right and telling me that no matter what, I could not and would not quit. There were many times I told them I didn't want to do it anymore, but not only did they tell me that I had to do it, they told me it was what was best for me. In the words of my amazing mother, as she always used to tell me, and I quote, "Good luck getting into college without it." Next, I want to thank Rick and Connor Marshall, my Uncle Ted and Uncle John, John Barry, and lastly my brother-in-law for always being the best mentors anyone could ask for. Their knowledge, advice, and charisma always showed me what I could become with the same attitude, mindset, and hard work. In addition to my family, I want to thank my amazing siblings, Alana, Erica, and Kent, for always being such a positive and supportive force behind my every move, even on the days where I may be a little more annoying than usual. Additionally, I want to thank each and every scout in my troop for being a part of my journey. You all are amazing young men with bright futures and a spectacular work ethic that is going to get each and every one of you very far in life. I encourage all of you to strive to become that 4% if you aren't already. I know you all have it in you, and all you have to do is stay focused and determined. Lastly, I want to thank each and every family, both in scouting and not, for all the support you have each given me. You all are very important, special people to me. Without all of you, my journey would not have been as successful and great as it was. Overall, each and every one of you in some way has contributed to my brother and I's success, and we can't thank you enough. Once again, thank you to everyone for such an amazing journey, and thank you all once again for coming. I look forward to what the future brings us all. Thank you.
So now that they've said everything they can say for the evening, I'm sorry guys, you can't take anything back after this. We're gonna open it up just for a few moments to scouts or family and stuff to kind of bring up goofy stories, goofy or great memories. Traditionally, this is done as a bit of a roast to kind of bring our young big heads down a little bit and deflate them just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. And I'm gonna give you guys a choice here. Do you want me to go first, or do you want me to go last?
Are you gonna really nuke us?
You guys get to choose. All right. So I'm going to start with Kent because we're in a church, and the first shall be last. And he's got a bunch of engineers in the family, and C's before K, and it happens all the time, I'm sure. So I think one of the greatest stories I have with Kent was probably the first Jamba Juice bike ride. It's an annual bike ride the troop does. It's 10 miles. You bike from Solano College to Jamba Juice at the mall. Halfway through, you get to get sugared back up after everybody's kind of tired or they're done with school and sports. That first time Cole comes on the bike ride, Cole was pretty quiet before this. I think this was only a few months after he joined the troop. Cole was pretty excited. I think this was the most excited I had seen Cole at a scouting event, or especially a troop meeting, period. The reason behind this was his plan to ride the bike and play Pokemon Go at the same time. Because think about it, we're going on a 10-mile bike ride. I can go to all these places on the bike ride. I don't know how well that went for you during the bike ride, but I did see the phone away for quite a lot of it. Luckily, there was no falls, no accidents, nobody got hurt. But it was just so great to see, I think for that first time, that excitement in Kent's face. Now, I've got to spend, I think, quite a little longer, since Cole's a little older, camping and backpacking or bike riding with Cole. And Cole's older, so usually as you go up the age of siblings, they either take less or usually they stumble a few more times. And the younger siblings get to hopefully follow that example. As you guys heard about Cole and Jake staying in a tent and stinky feet, and being yelled at to go to sleep, that was a very, very common thing. I know the first camp out, as well as many to follow after that I went backpacking and camping with Cole and Jake. The first one, it was a little nervous, but super, super excited. We're going backpacking in the woods, kind of on our own. This is like as manly as we're going to be. They were, I think, 12 at the time. It was great. They're excited all day on the trail. They're talking to my dad, Mr. Marshall, both of them. There were no breaks. There were no stops all day. So there's all this great energy. You're thinking, okay, dinner's going to come along and lunch. It keeps going. So I think we went to bed, turned in around like midnight, maybe a little after that. They go to bed, they're talking still some, which is still normal, right? You're tent buddies. So you're going to, share a few last memories from the day. You would think. I remember, I think it was 4:30 a.m. Mr. Marshall, the scoutmaster at the time, for the umpteenth time, had to tell him, you guys got to stop talking so much and so loud. I don't remember how many times in the night that was reminded, hey guys, bring it down or go to sleep. And somehow the next day, I think they woke up at like 6:30 the next day. It wasn't that long. They were still energized, which is definitely a thing of your youth. So try to hold on to that. Don't lose it. But all the time, they were always so excited, and they were willing to talk to each other friendly, talk to others about scouting, questions, ideas. I have no memory of what all those conversations were anymore. I do remember a few, but I think we're going to call it there for tonight. So any other scouts, I'm sure, want to come up and share a few words?
Hello, my name is Jake. It's my smelly feet who everyone keeps talking about. I've known Cole since I was a Cub Scout. We were in the same den all the way up to Boy Scouts. We've been together through our Eagle Scout ordeal, or our Order of the Arrow ordeal. I beat you to Eagle Scout though by a little bit, sorry. But I wanted to tell a story about one time when Cole and I shared a tent together. That time there was actually 3 people in our tent. It was at the summer camp. It was Cole and another buddy, Shaylin, and I, all in the same tent. And Cole got situated right in the center. All 3 caught squeezed real close. And there was a spider on the roof of the tent. And so Cole took off his belt, and he beat the side of the tent for a solid 20 minutes straight. I couldn't believe the tent was still standing when he was done. I mean, it was incredible. I've never seen him with so much energy. He's always so quiet and pretty calm, and then he saw that spider, and it was game time. But since you had to go after my feet like that, I had to return the favor. So congratulations, buddy. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see all that you do.
Hello, my name is William. I also beat Cold Eagle. It's not a competition or anything, but I got second place, so not too bad. But I think his brother may have hinted to it a little earlier, but let's just say on camping events, Cole made some unwise financial decisions. The second summer camp, you received, let's just say, enough money that should last the week. And let's just say it didn't make it 3 days. I'll say that. But seriously, at school, obviously we were at school with about 2,000 people, so not everyone can know everyone, but if someone asks who you were and I said the guy who's always smiling all the time, they'll know who you are. They'll know your face. you're just always so bright, full of life, and you're really a joy to have in the troop and at school. And Kent, I didn't get to spend as much time with Kent, but I will say he is a silent killer, will you say, when he's a leader. He acts very shy. He gets voted in democratically, and then he becomes a little bit of a dictator. It's really encroaching on our freedoms, but he gets the job done. If you need something done, he'll get it done. There's no question about that. Like your brother, like your whole family, I should say, you are always so smiling, full of life, full of joy, and you guys are a joy to have around.
Hi everyone, I'm Eric, and I've known the Robertsons for quite some time. Cole and I actually went to school together. I don't know if we've known each other since we were like 7 or something. And I started Scouts a little late as a Weebelo, but I have a lot of vivid memories with both of the Robertson boys, but in particular, I just want to speak on Cole's positive attitude all the time. I'm sorry to bring this up, but one time in particular at a summer camp, I remember it was pretty early on, and I noticed that they feed you at summer camp, you know, we have scheduled meals, but in particular, Cole's diet consisted of, on his off time, a lot of candy and soda. And it kind of got concerning to me at one point, to be honest, but it got to the point where one day a meal came and his seat was empty. And I was just confused. I asked around, apparently he had to go see the medic because he was dehydrated from so much candy and soda. But the best part was, even right after I saw him, right after he came out of the medic's office, he had a big smile on his face. He was always really positive. And that's just something I really try to mirror in my everyday life. And it's something that's really admirable. So I really appreciate being friends with you and getting to know you for so long. And again, I was always usually in the same group with Cole, so I have more memories with him. But I know just with Kent, seeing your growth, man, it was always so impressive to know you were Cole's little brother and you came up too, and then I eagled out, and then I come back later and he's fearlessly leading all these boys as the senior patrol leader. So it was really impressive. Both of you two are really impressive young men, and I'm so glad to know you all. So thank you, congratulations.
Hello again. Just a quick reminder, I'm their brother-in-law, and for a couple of years I got to be their assistant scout leader. So I've gone on a couple campouts with them, and yeah, I didn't get to spend as much time with Cole, but I got a lot of dirt on Kent. But just, yeah, a quick fun story was the last campout we got to do was to Santa Cruz and the boardwalk. And we have access to ride any ride we want. We're there first thing in the morning, so there's no lines. But it's a Pokemon Go Community Day. If you don't know what that is, it's an event once a month where you get to catch one certain Pokemon more than anything else. So it's all Kent wanted to do. No one else in the troop wanted to do that. But, you know, fortunately for him, I'm as much of a Pokemon fan as he is. So we spent all day just playing Pokemon Go at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. And I had fun. And it was a lot of fun. But yeah, going back to the program and Boy Scouting, when I first started dating their sister Alana, and I found out that they were part of a troop, and that you know, I had this great opportunity ahead of me to really get to know them, spend time with the family, because I was a Boy Scout, but I dropped out after second class, so I could focus on marching band, and that was, you know, one of the biggest regrets I had, you know, during my high school days. So selfishly, it was a great way for me to get back camping and, you know, but to really be a part of the family. So just talking about their Eagle Scout projects really quick, you know, most people will never have to lead more than a couple of people. And, you know, these guys, when they're, you know, younger than they are now, had to lead nearly 20 people and do this project. And it was really incredible to see, because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to be constantly coming to me asking them, what do I do? What do I do? What do I tell them? Or they're just going to ignore everyone. And no, they're, you know, bouncing around group to group, making sure that, you know, everyone's assembling these sound barriers correctly and assembling the owl boxes. And, you know, I'm just really honored to have been a part of the journey with you guys, and I'm incredibly proud of you both. So.
Is there anyone else? Second doubts or anything?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth Burson. I mainly have more memories with Kent, but Cole, you're a pretty great guy. All right. All scouts should strive to be like Kent. He truly follows all the points of the scout law. For example, being kind. Every month, he and I play the Pokemon Go community days, as he mentioned. And when we stop at Starbucks, he always insists on paying for the drinks. It's impossible to get him to agree on letting me pay for them, so what I've been doing is racing Kent to shove cash into the cashier's hand, so I'm not in debt to him for hundreds of dollars. He's also an able outdoorsman. Kent never seemed scared of any task or terrain, even when he got lost on a kayak at Lake Solano. Kent also cares deeply about wildlife, which I think has something to do with his mom. He'll kill bugs, though. Kent hates bugs. A lot. And finally, he is an impeccable rapper. I'm going to miss scouting with you. 2 cent Kent.
Thank you.
Now we know why I waited till the end, guys. I don't know about this, but next up, we're going to invite the Scoutmaster and also Father up. At a troop meeting, normally, either at the beginning or closing, the Scoutmaster gives the Scoutmaster minute. Very rarely is it a minute long. I will give you that warning, but it's usually some words of wisdom to the youth, if it's about life, about scouting, or how to survive the next weekend's outing. So Mr. Robertson, Scoutmaster Robertson, please come on up. Thank you, Carl.
Well, since I clearly share the same genetics with my brother, you know that my Scoutmaster's minute, it's not going to be 60 seconds, right? But I'll keep it brief, I promise. All right, well, first, again, one more round of thank yous to everybody. Really appreciate the guys and the adults getting up and saying a few words. This was a very, very special evening for us, and especially for Kent and Cole. So thank you, everybody. And often what happens with the Scoutmaster's Minute is they get up and give some words of wisdom and say some nice things about the candidates. There's been enough nice things said about these guys. I get to live with them every day, so I know that this is out of balance, okay? So I'm going to keep it a little more general, a little more just scouty. And I'm going to read an excerpt from something that's called the 100 Scouts, and it's something that actually that Wendy's dad gave me many years ago from a court of honor that he led. And I thought it was interesting, and especially interesting for a nerdy engineer, because, you know, we like statistics, right? Uncle Ted gave a bunch of statistics, so I'm going to read a little bit of this. So bear with me here. So 100 Scouts. Of any 100 boys who become Scouts, it must be confessed that 30 will drop out in their first year. Perhaps this may be regarded as a failure, but later in life, all of these Scouts will remember that they had been Scouts and will speak well of the program. Of the 100, only rarely will one ever appear before a juvenile court judge. Make sure it's not one of you guys. 12 of the 100 will be from families that belong to no church. Though through scouting, those 12 and many of their families will be brought into contact with the church and will continue to be active all their lives. 6 of those 100 will become pastors. Almost all will develop hobbies that will be of interest through the rest of their lives. Approximately 1/2 will serve in the military, and in varying degrees they will profit from their scouting training. At least one will use it to save another person's life, and many will credit it with saving their own. 4 of the 100 will reach Eagle rank, and at least one will later say that he valued his Eagle above his college degree. Many will find that their future vocation through merit badge work and through scouting contacts. 17 of the 100 boys will later become scout leaders and will give leadership to thousands of additional boys. Only 1 in 4 boys in America will become scouts, but it is interesting to know that of the leaders in this nation in business, religion, and politics, 3 out of 4 were scouts. Over 2.5 million scouts have achieved Eagle since 1912. There's a few famous Eagles that you may have heard of. Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. Mike Rowe, Discovery Channel guy. Steven Spielberg, needs no introduction. Sam Walton, we shop there all the time. And President Gerald Ford, among others. If you Google famous Eagle Scouts, there's a big long list, but those are a few that I thought you might find interesting. You know, we do a lot of service work in Boy Scouts. The Eagle Scout projects have to benefit the community in some way. And every year, Mr. Moffat, who we'll introduce in a minute, he asks us how many hours we put into the community through Eagle Scout projects. Since up through 2012, which is when the statistic was written, almost 13.5 million hours of service work has been reported by the Boy Scouts of America. That relates to about $300 billion in service value provided by the Scouts and the leaders to the communities across the United States. There's been over 100 million members since 1910 in Scouting. And the number of Eagle Scouts in an average year the last couple of decades was about 51,000. All right. So there's statistics, okay? So hope some of that was interesting to you. You know, as a Scoutmaster, we get to sit on Eagle boards of review. So guys like this and this have to sit before a board of district executives and Scoutmasters, and we get to pummel them with questions. It's great fun. We love it. But one of the most common questions, or one of the questions I really like to ask is, what do you think you'll remember about Scouting in 25 years? And most of them are trying to figure out what they're doing tomorrow and, you know, what they did yesterday. So they sit back and you get some really interesting answers. But I'm going to give you my answer, because I was a Scout when I was a little kid, as my brother Ted shared. And so when I look back at the things that I did in Scouting, you know, I remember little vignettes, you know, little things at summer camp that happened, or, you know, awards or something like that. What I don't remember, I don't even remember one merit badge that I did. You know, I did a lot of merit badges to make it all the way through Scouting. But it's not that or the achievements that I remember. So I'm going to challenge you guys, especially the guys in our troop, to think a little bit about this. You know, I think if you know, as a new Eagle Scout, I'm thinking, what are you going to think about tomorrow? Well, tomorrow you're going to think, oh, I was so nervous yesterday when I got through it. Then in a year, I think you're going to think, gee, I can't believe I finally finished the cooking merit badge or the hiking merit badge or something that was really tough for you to finish to get through the Eagle Scout rank. Think about maybe in 5 years, you're probably going to remember that winter camp that I just froze to death and I slept so poorly. Can't believe I had to go through that. Maybe in 10 years, you know, as we age, the memory gets a little more selective. In 10 years, you're probably going to think, man, I remember that summer camp, my favorite summer camp, Chawaniki or Catalina Island or whatever your favorite summer camp was. What do I think you're going to remember in 25 years? I think you're going to remember the people. You're not going to remember a stinking merit badge or how far you hiked any given day. You're going to remember the guys that you hung out at summer camp with, the people that you interfaced with in the troop, the adult leaders that helped you get all the way through. So my reflection to you guys is, to me, that's the big thing about Scouting. It's the people, the memories of the people, and the character that you're formed by being around so many good people, Scouts and adult leaders and families. So that's my takeaway, and I want to use that as a way to pivot and say thank you to everybody here. As Jake said, it does take a village, and you've been a huge part of that village for these boys. Thank you so much for everything you do for them and for Scouting. Thank you. I think this is where I should probably introduce Mr. Mike Moffett. Mike, I'm sorry we missed you at the beginning of the program. We were like a steamroller. We just kept going. So, Mr. Moffett, would you please come up and say a few words to the troop? Thank you.
By the power vested in me by the Boy Scouts of America's National Office, to the Golden Gate Area Council, I now declare this Eagle Court of Honor closed.
I'd now like to request that the senior patrol leader and the color guard please prepare themselves to retrieve the colors.
Color guard, attention. Audience, please rise. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, retrieve the colors. About face. Color guard, forward march. Troop salute. Color guard, halt. Color guard dismissed, audience dismissed.
All right, well, please join us for some refreshments. We've got some cake and some cookies and some all kinds of stuff. Feel free to come up and look at some of the things we talked about this evening. And hopefully the weather's still nice. We might just sort of move out to the parking lot to enjoy some refreshments. All right, thank you.